Today I'll be giving a session on gamification. It's a very new concept in the market, although it has been going on in US for quite a few years now. Yeah. Hello, hello. I'll be a little louder this time. Is it audible now? Yeah, okay. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what gamification exactly is, I'll run a short video of 2 to 3 minutes, and you'll get an idea of what exactly gamification is. So the video is of a guy who gave a presentation at one of the gamification summit. His name is Jesse Skell. He is the CEO and founder of Skell Games, and currently he is working as a professor in Carnegie Mellon University. So after this particular talk is when the gamification, the whole aura of gamification started in the enterprise industry and also to consumers. So I'll run the video for you right now. Just a second.
To brush your teeth, and the toothbrush can sense that you're brushing your teeth, and so, hey, good job for you, 10 points for brushing your teeth, and it can measure how long, and you're supposed to brush them for 3 minutes, and you did, good job, you brushed your teeth for 3 minutes, and so you get a bonus for that, and hey, you brushed your teeth every day this week, another bonus. Right, and who cares? The toothpaste company, the toothbrush company, the more you brush, the more toothpaste you use, they have a vested financial interest. You go to breakfast, there's the cornflakes. On the back, there's a little web game that you can play. While you eat, instead of reading the back, you play a game while you eat your cornflakes. And you get that, and you get 10 points just for eating the cornflakes. And then it turns out you can see your list of friends who also have cornflakes and the scores that they got because your Wi-Fi and Facebook connected and everything. And so, you get 5 bonus points because you just beat out one of your friends at the cornflakes game. So then you go and you get on the bus. The bus? Why am I taking the bus? You're taking the bus because the government has started giving out all kinds of bonus points to people who use public transportation. And you can use these points for tax incentives. And while you're sitting on the bus riding to work and you're playing your little Tetris and getting a few points here and there, you suddenly remember, I had this dream last night. I had a dream that my mother was dancing with this giant Pepsi can. And then you realize, oh yeah, the REM-tertainment system, right, which is the thing you put in your ear and it can sense when you enter REM sleep. And then it starts putting little advertisements out there to try and influence your dreams. And then you can fill out a little form. It's a test to see if those things came through into your dreams. And if they did, then big points for you, right? And you can use these points at the grocery store or whatever. And you get to work on time. Good job. Excellent. You got to work on time. And you get a special bonus, I don't know, for something else. Maybe because you've been there on time all week. And then there's your office mate. And he's like, check out, I got the new digital tattoo. Right? It's a tattoo that you can change the image because it's got like e-ink in it in your arm, right? So you can change the image all the time to whatever you want, but a lot of people are using Tattoogle AdSense, right? And so he's got the ads up, and you're thinking, you're really dumb because Tattoogle AdSense has light sensors in it, and so that when your arm is covered, you're not going to get any money from people seeing the ads, and you show them how yours is lower on the arm so it's more exposed so you get more points for it, and just then you realize that the two of you have your ads suddenly synchronized just by chance, and so you say, link sync, and you get 30 points for noticing a link sync, that the two of us had that, and he says Pop-Tarts because they're both Pop-Tart ads, and the system is listening, and it can tell that we said Pop-Tarts, and then we do high five because the body electricity sensors can tell when you do a high five, and that's the rule, that's how the game works, that when the ads line up, because it makes you pay more attention to the ads, because that's how these games will work. The games will be tricking you to pay more attention to ads. So then you go to lunch, and you had Dr. Peppers all week, and so you know you got to have another Dr. Pepper because you got 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, and then you have another one, and there's another one, but you know there's a special with Dr. Pepper this week. If you have 5 Dr. Peppers in a week, 500 bonus points, so you're definitely going to take advantage of that. And then you got a meeting at another building. It's a half a mile away. And you could take the shuttle over, but you decide, I'm going to walk because the health insurance plan that you're on gives you bonus points if you walk like more than a mile each day. And we can sense that easily, through your digital shoes. And if you get your heart rate up about a certain amount, then you get more bonus points from your health insurance company. So then you're going shopping on the way home, and man, this is like a place you can get a lot of points, and it's really complicated, so you don't figure it out. You let your app figure it out. It looks at all the point systems you have, it looks at what you want, and then it tells you which ones to buy in order to get, ooh, wow, a lot of points just because I make good choices shopping. And then you get home and your daughter's like, oh, I got my report card. And you're like, oh, good job. You're getting 2,000 points from the state for getting such good grades. And you're getting 5,000 as a parent from the Obama bonus for the good parenting bonus, which you're excited because you can use that as tax relief. And then you say, hey, wait a minute. Did you practice your piano? And she's like, yeah, I practiced my piano. Well, what score did you get? He's like, oh, well, I got 150,000. 150,000, that's the best you've ever had on that particular sonata. That's 9,000 points given by the Arts Council for your scholarship fund. So, go you, right? And then you go and watch television, and I don't even want to talk about this. It's just points. Because there's eye sensors, right, that can tell when you're watching the ads. So you want to watch the ads, certain ads especially, because you're going to get points for them. And your remote has a little screen on it and with a little camera, so you can kind of be live chat with other people.
Okay, I think that's enough. Sorry? It will be something, you can YouTube it, Jesse Skell, Dice Part 3, something like that. It's on YouTube. Okay. So, hopefully most of you have played Angry Birds. Am I audible? Yeah. So, most of you have played Angry Birds. Just a brief overview, over 1 billion downloads of Angry Birds. So, what makes Angry Birds so successful with people? What is it that engages them continuously to play long hours? And for a matter of fact, not just Angry Birds, any game. What makes games so successful? What makes games engaging? What games can do and why do they have so much power? So when you are playing a game, consider Age of Empires. You can sit for 6 hours, you can sit for 7 hours, you can sit for 8 hours. A kid can sit, a grown-up like me can sit, and a 40-year-old can also sit and play some game. So gamification is essentially taking all these concepts. Why do people sit in front of games for 7 hours continuously and still don't get bored? It is taking these concepts and helping it to solve real-world problems. Problems of electricity, problems of water. And it can be any enterprise problem also, a consumer problem, which we'll see throughout the slide. So just an example here, Angry Birds. So there's a service called Samsung Nation, which Samsung used to help sell more products. So what they did is they gamified their website. Every time you go to Samsung Nation, you get a certain number of points for signing up. Next, when you sign up, you give product reviews, you look at the products, you get more points. If you have rated a certain product, suppose a Galaxy S or something like that, you get a special badge that this particular person has rated 5 phones as high rating or 4 rating or whatever, and you get badges. So as you can see on the board, you get points, you get badges, and there is a leaderboard. So there are thousands of people coming on the Samsung website. They are all giving reviews. They are all giving ratings. They are looking at the products. What is Samsung getting out of it? It is selling their more products. People are coming onto their website, and there is a leaderboard too to see which person has collected the highest number of points, and he eventually gets a reward. So this is just one example how Samsung implemented gamification using points, badges, and leaderboards. These are the 3 main elements of gamification. So what is gamification exactly? Just the definition part of it is the use of game elements and game design techniques to help solve real-world problems, essentially the non-game concepts. So as we move through the slide, we'll see some applications of gamification. The first is a Nike Plus. So essentially Nike, what they want is they want people to run more. they'll run more, they'll be healthier, they'll buy more shoes, they'll buy good shoes. But what is the motivation behind running? You get up in the morning, you want to sleep more, you don't want to run. How do you motivate people to get up from your bed and get out and basically walk, not take a bike also? So what they did is they developed a small device using accelerometer and put it in the shoe. And what that does is it tracks your every step. As soon as you take a step, it will track how many steps have you taken, how much further have you walked, what has been your fastest run if you were running, how many miles have you traveled till date, the moment you take the... So they took that device, built an application around it, and then they are selling it to the consumers. So as you can see on the board, you can see your farthest run, you can see what is my fastest run, how long did I run on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, and you can set up challenges and goals for yourself. This week I have to run for 10 kilometers, this is my goal. You set up a goal and you get a reward out of it. The reward can be monetary, tangible or intangible, doesn't matter, but it is motivating you to get up. The best part of it is the game or the application is social. So you can see your friends. Did they get up in the morning? Did they run today or not? Am I ahead of them or I am behind them? You have a sense of competition, and this is how they made they gamified their shoe business. So coming on to next, why learn gamification at all? So it is just not the cookie companies that are doing it right now. SAP is one example that is implementing gamification. Stack Overflow is already implemented. I think most of you are aware of it. They have point system. Then they have grade levels also. You are a newbie when you just join. Then you move up to the levels as the number of points increase as you post. So that is one example of gamification. Microsoft, as we'll see, used gamification quite in a very good way, and we'll come to that example later. Stack Overflow, Foursquare. So these are some of the companies that are using gamification. Just to give you an idea, there was a recent report on Gartner, recent report by Gartner on gamification that said 80% of the companies will be gamified by 2014 or 15, I guess. So that is a huge number of companies that will be there. So what are the advantages of gamification? How people or enterprise generally use gamification? So I'll come to a Microsoft example that they did. So when Microsoft was launching Windows 7, an essential part of their launching is that they have to localize it in the local language. It's a very mundane task. There is no motivation. What will you get out of it if you have a dialog box and you have to read every line through it, and then you have to identify what is the error? It's a very mundane task. The employees, I don't know how they are motivated to do it. I wouldn't be personally. So what they did is, and more or less, every localized office won't have a language translation center also. So what they did is they built a game around it. So every person, particularly of that particular office, could register to it, analyze the dialog boxes, what is written there, and identify the mistakes. So before this was launched, people started doing it. It was a completely voluntary exercise, and they had a leaderboard. Whether Microsoft India office is leading right now, they have identified the maximum mistakes in the dialog boxes. Whether Microsoft Germany is leading right now, Microsoft US. So it gave a sense of, that my office should lead, my country should lead, and people started coming onto it. What was the result of it? This was the result. Over 4,500 participants reviewed more than 500,000 dialog boxes. 6,700 bugs reported and hundreds of bug fixes. This is just one example how Microsoft implemented it internally. I'll go to the next example, how gamification can help change human behavior for the better. So I think most of us have had a most of us have had a challan for overspeeding. At least I have, more than 4 or 5 times. So how do you enable people to move slowly when there's already a speed limit? You do a challan one time, the next time if he sees that the police person is not there, he'll go fast again. Again the next time, again, till he's caught again, and it is just 50 or 100 bucks or 500 bucks, he'll pay off and then he'll go. So how do you enable people? How many of you are aware of the funtheory.com? Anyone? Thefuntheory.com. Yeah. So this is just the winner of funtheory.com. It was carried out by Volkswagen, I think. And I'll just run the video. This guy won the competition and he gamified the essential, how do you enable people to slow down their speed when there's a speed limit. It's an awesome example. I'll just run it for you.
Kevin Richardson. I'm the winner of Volkswagen's Fun Theory Award. My idea was the speed camera lottery. Could we get people to obey the speed limit through fun? I really believe that fun can change human behavior for the better, and I was really thrilled to see that my idea, which started as a scribble submitted into this competition, might even become reality. Would do two things. One, it would photograph speeders, give them a citation, and that money goes in a pot. But if you're obeying the law, your picture will also get snapped. You'll be entered into a lottery and win some of that money from those speeders.
Jag kör alltid lagligt, men tveksamt om jag vinner.
Det är en bra positiv grej det där. Kör lagligt och tjäna del, det är perfekt.
So this was one of the examples how this person used gamification. So what were the essential components of it? So people were overspeeding, but they had a direct feedback. What was the feedback? If they overspeeded, the image was clicked and a particular one challan kind of a thing was sent to the people. Not only the people who were overspeeding were sent, the people who were below the speed limit were sent an incentive. The incentive was here a monetary benefit, but the essential part of it that as soon as they did some action, which is overspeeding in this case, they had a direct feedback from the system immediately and they could improve upon it. That is how games work. So I'll just move on to the next example why we need to gamify anything at all. So any one of you have heard of this particular dodgeball game? Well, it's essentially a company. Yeah, so these were a group of guys in New York University. They used to hang out in bars. So eventually what they thought is that they want to see their other friends. Where are they hanging out? Where are they in different bars? So they developed an application called Dodgeball. What it does is as soon as you log in into Dodgeball, you check in into a particular bar. It has a Google Maps. And you can see all your friends who are there in different bars near about you. And they can, see and review comments and stuff like that, this bar is very good, you should come here, stuff, etc. So it became hugely popular, but it had a problem. Eventually it was bought by Google. So what were the problems of Dodgeball? The first problem was that a minimum number of friends had to be registered on Dodgeball for you to see a Google map which has particular friends of yours. If you have no friends on Dodgeball, all you see is your 1 point, a blank 1 point that you are there in the bar, what are your friends doing? You have no friends at all, you cannot see anything, so it doesn't give you, it is not social. Second of all, what do you do after you check in? There is nothing, there is no choice. When you check into a bar, you see that your friends are there, that's okay, that's perfect, but what do you do after that? What is your motivation behind when you go to a bar and you check in to the Dodgeball? There is no motivation behind it. Next was that it wasn't a habit. It wasn't becoming a habit for the people. When they were going into a bar, they had no motivation at all to open a Dodgeball. They did it once, they did it twice, they did it thrice, but it didn't become a habit at all. So what that guy from New York University who was the founder of Dodgeball, after working 2 or 3 years at Google, he identified all these problems and the answer to it was Foursquare. The same concept, just gamify it. So every time you enter boards where you were sitting. Now you have motivation to get onto Foursquare, and you can collect points, you can collect badges. The motivation to come to and check in into Foursquare is done. You have to review the place, you get badges, that is done. You have choices, you can play around, you can motivate people. So that is how dodgeball from an engagement gap was converted into a Foursquare using gamification. Next of all are enterprise applications. So one or two examples of it, how SAP is implementing it, I'll just run it for you. We have an intranet community, a WAP developers community, then we have BOF community, FPM, anyone who is aware of SAP knows that. So on the community also similar to Stack Overflow, we have points. As soon as you go into the community, you check in, you get 1 point, you comment, you get points. Then you answer to a particular question. If that question is answered by you, you get certain number of points and you move up the level. The important thing to note here is that you are progressing as you go. So anyone who has played Call of Duty here would know that when you start a game, you are a beginner or you are at a certain level. But as you go, you have objectives, very, very small objectives, that you have to reach a particular area, you have to go here, you have to open this door, you have to do this, you have to do that. But if you don't do it, you get a feedback from the system. If you are going left instead of right, there will be an arrow that will show you that you have to go here. So there's an immediate feedback from the system that there is something that you are doing wrong, there is something that you are doing right. Unlike the workplace, where after a year you realize what you did wrong and what you did right. So this was particularly implemented at a call center, which had I think everyone had PRM, performance review management. So this was something that they used for their PRM. So their main aim was that they had to call up customers, sell some products, and they had to satisfy the customer also, because the customer would give them a rating back. So their objective was call the customer, make sure you sell the product, but don't make an offense such that the customer is pissed off. So the longer they are on call with the customer, the less bonus they get, because the company is losing money if they are more on call. So they have a very tight situation. How do they monitor it? So what this company did is they gamified the system. If you are on call with the customer, if your time of call is within 2 minutes, you get certain number of points. If the customer is satisfied with you, you get a badge for customer satisfaction. And all the employees in the organization have this particular application which is mandatory. And they go and they can see where in the company they are standing up. Across India, across globe, how are they performing with the employees, and this is how they rate themselves. Eventually, this was used to rate their employees, but it is not a very good way. We shouldn't try it, because I'll just tell you an example where gamification was used to exploit people. So the essential part of it is that you immediately get a feedback from the system, what is right, what is wrong, and you improve upon it immediately instead of waiting for a month to get back. So there are some positive parts of it, there are some negative parts of gamification. So the Gartner report that I told you about, that said 80% of the systems will be gamified. It also said that 50% of those systems will fail. That is because every company is trying to gamify their systems. They think that it's a new technology, let's use it, let's gamify everything, let's put points, badges, leaderboards everywhere. It is not that. Gamification is not about that. You have to know why people play certain games. You have to know their mentality, you have to know the user. How do they do it? Why are they playing 6 hours? Is it just because of the points that they want to collect? No. Is it just because of the leaderboard? Probably yes, some of it. Is it just because that they want to collect badges? Yes, for some it is. But it is not just that. You have to realize that they have to have an objective when they are playing a game. They have to have fun. That is the core part of it. They have to have fun. And third of all, it has to be voluntary. Playing games has always been voluntary since our childhood, and it is the most important. You cannot make it compulsory for anyone. So one of the companies that did it, made it voluntary for its employees, they got screwed really bad. So one of the Disney hotels, what they did is, they gamified the staff system. What they did is that, the staff who were responsible for cleaning, getting the food and many other daily chores, the number of hours that they spent cleaning and stuff, they were given a certain number of points. The more they cleaned, or the more number of hours they spent cleaning or, going somewhere, doing their work, doing their daily chores, the more number of points they got. And they moved up the leaderboard. They had a leaderboard built for all the employees. So what they did is it made a competitive, not a healthy competition, but a competitive mindset between employees. The more number of hours they spent in the hotel, the more points they gather. And eventually it was linked to their bonus. Initially it was good. The engagement went up. The staff, morale went up. But eventually what happened is that the competition became unhealthy and it was sued. Disney Hotel was sued by the Workers' Council and it had to roll back gamification. So this is a very bad example, and the first and essential mistake that they did is they didn't make it voluntary for people. You have to make it voluntary for people, and then only you can gamify a system. Essentially, gamification is nothing but making a game. That's all. So what is the future of gamification like? So there is a saying that, future is what you make of it. It holds true for gamification. Totally holds true for it. It's a very niche concept, very new, and someone who has grown up playing games knows exactly what I'm talking about. So there is one company called Site Systems in Israel, I think. So they did a project on gamification, and they showed how they perceive the future. So I'll just run that video for you. It's an amazing video. They used gamification, new concepts. It's a very good, and they won some Oscar award for, no, not Oscar, but they won some award for it. So I'll just run that for you. Probably gamification Oscar. So.
Zombies from your backyard.
Life is a journey, and in this journey, we all want to do more, experience more, feel more, and live with no boundaries. And why shouldn't we? Sight System presents Sightseeing. Feel free to go anywhere. Reminder, date and night, choose outfit.
Patrick.
Oh, hi. Hi, Daphne. How are you? Sorry.
Okay.
You look great.
Thank you. Love your jacket.
Thanks. It's a sports jacket, so it's a lot less official than it looks.
What do you mean?
Sorry?
What's the difference between a sports jacket and a normal one?
I guess a sports jacket is for people who want to look good even when they're chased by the police.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope you're hungry. This
Yeah.
place has the best burgers in town.
Oh, actually, I'm vegetarian.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Because you didn't say it on your profile, so...
Well, I don't write everything on my profile, so.
Do you want to go somewhere else?
No, it's okay. I'll find something on the menu.
Well, how about a glass of wine, for starters?
Yeah. Great.
So, are there any other things on your profile that you didn't write about that I should know, or... Aren't you scared of jogging by yourself in the city?
Not really. Besides, I'm about to hit level 5 on Marathon Master.
Pretty impressive.
I know. What is scary though? On my last route, my site crashed. So scary. I didn't see anything. I couldn't find my way home.
Site doesn't crash.
Oh, it did? I was totally lost. I didn't see anything.
That doesn't happen since our last patch.
Do you work there or something? Really?
Yeah,
Wow. What do you do there?
nothing serious. I'm just a simple engineer.
Actually, I read about your company in the news. Is it true that you guys implant stuff and manipulate people's sites?
It's just bullshit. But anyway, I don't want to talk about work. Not when I'm here with such a pretty lady.
You know, you really get me.
You know, I can tell what you're thinking right now.
Really? What?
Well, finished our drinks. What are we going to do? How about we go to my place for a nightcap?
Well, if you're so good in reading my mind, you should know what I'm going to say.
There it is. Make yourself at home.
Nice place you've got here.
It's all right, I guess. A toast for a perfect night. Why are you drinking?
What's that? A dating app.
No.
Oh,
It's for
I cannot
programming.
believe it's just my luck. A friggin' gauge. Disgusting.
Wait,
Do not touch me, you creep. Pathetic.
I said wait. Now let's try this again.
So that was site systems and their future of how games can influence people. So thank you. Hope all of you had fun. Thanks a lot.